cigar box ukulele. Hope the light is good enough to see it in my dank cellar office. What can I say? A friend gave me this cigar box. Actually, he had a whole pile of them. He's a cigar smoker, and I selected this one. He had other ones that weren't scratched up, like this one is. Some of the scratches I added, but like this long one came with it. But the dimensions of this box struck me as very suitable for a concert-size ukulele, which is what this is. And he graciously gave it to me, and I finally got around to turning it into something, and this is my first. I have attached one of my somewhat infamous white cedar ukulele necks, and it's fairly thick through here without being uncomfortable. The fear is that it will warp because it's white cedar. I don't think that's going to be a problem, actually, although I don't know. We'll wait and see a year and find out. The big problem with working with the white cedar is it wanted to chip a little bit when I drilled through it, and even my reamer, which I used to put these pegs in, these violin pegs, tended to chip it up a little bit, which wasn't any fun, and there wasn't much I could do about it at that point. The other problem with it is that any little bump puts a dent in the thing, although I have found that just putting some water, a wet rag on the bump tends to bring it right back up, and then you have to sand off the raised grain. So as long as it's not too deep, that seems to be a good way to go to fix it up. And my next step to really finish it will be to add several coats of polyurethane to the neck and also to the front here. Just to protect it and keep it from getting smudged up and dirty, if nothing else. So this is a Western red cedar top, which I placed on what used to be the bottom of the uke. And there's some bracing in there and a bridge patch. And I don't know if you can hear that, but it has a pretty good tap tone. I was surprised. I initially had a lot of trouble keeping it in tune, and somebody on the Ukulele Underground forum, Luthier's forum, mentioned that I needed to glue this top shut, or that I might need it, because the neck was bending a little bit. The whole front panel was flexing, and that made it impossible to keep it in tune. So I did glue it shut, and now it's pretty good. These violin pegs have proven a challenge. They went in further than I reamed them out for, and that may again be a result of the white cedar being too soft a wood really for this purpose. So basically the holes I drilled in them are way up high, and some of the strings, this one in particular, my G string, is dang near horizontal going across the nut. So hopefully it doesn't push in much further, or I'll be having to drill yet another hole. But really the important thing of this is that I've learned a lot, and I've had a lot of fun making it, and I'm really surprised with how good it sounds. And this in spite of the fact that I'm not a very good player. I just started at the beginning of the summer, and lately I've been spending more time focusing on building than on playing, although I get in a little strumming every night. And so here's one I learned from my daughter, although I won't trouble you with my singing. And I actually haven't checked the tune on this yet today, but hopefully the Akia strings haven't stretched out too much since the last time I played. Say it sounds almost as nice as my Ohana mahogany, and it sounds kind of similar actually, more so than the Kala Western red cedar that I owned at one point, which I sold because I didn't really like it, not as much as the mahogany. Anyways, yeah, and Intonation seems to be on, which I guess just means that I got the bridge and the nut at the right distance from each other with the fretboard in there, right? Seeing as it came pre-slotted, somebody else did the measurements on the frets, so they did that right apparently. So anyways, I've been working on the action. I've got the action up here about right. It could be just a smoosh lower. Down here I think it could be lower yet by a good eighth of an inch. And I don't quite have that much to give it on my saddle unless I take off some of the edges of the bridge here, the height of the bridge. And I did make the bridge myself, so that'll be something I'll have to watch for next time. But that's it. I think it sounds great.